I do make a mean low country boil, but I don't think I have anything on Mark. Let's go ahead and pick up Jamie. Jamie, KQ1 USA. Good evening, gentlemen. KQ1 USA here. I heard the 3D, magic words, the beer, the broth, and the bank account. Back to the booth. KQ1 USA. Your ears lit up when you started talking about that food, huh? What's going on with you, Captain? Boy, you got that 991 ain't something good. Well, thank you very much. All of you, though, you helped me with all the settings and getting everything equalized and adjusted and everything.
What's up, y'all? Let's see. Just hanging out here in my ham shack in my shop. What's up, Fire Dog? So we're going to unwind a little bit and hunt some parks on the air stations. See if I can get some. What's up, Knife Nerd? Popo. And figured I'd just let y'all watch. Maybe we'll chat as best we can back and forth. But it's kind of what I do at night to unwind. I hear you, Mark. Ain't nothing wrong with a handheld. Radio's radio. Listening to some guys, what am I carrying today? Well, I got my wallet. I already kind of emptied my pockets, but I got this right here is what I'm carrying today. This is the Ace. Can't remember the name of it. Giant Mouse Ace something. I can't remember. That's what I'm carrying today. It's really the only thing I got on me other than my wallet right now. I kind of emptied my pockets earlier, kind of lighten my load, you know what I mean? But so listening to some guys here on 40 meters that I talk to almost every night. Got a net twice a week that I get on, talk to these really cool guys. These guys right here are it's one guy down in Florida, a guy in North Georgia, there's a guy in Alabama, and then there's a guy in Louisiana that I talk to pretty much almost every night. They're on now. And then the net is Wednesday nights and Sunday nights. And we talk all over the country. You know, it's kind of people come in and we give signal reports and talk about what kind of antennas they're running, yada, yada, yada. So we talk to people all over the United States for several hours on Sunday night and Wednesday nights. I actually, on the members only page on Facebook, went live for the first time doing this on that, and everybody seemed to enjoy it. There's a lot of questions. I don't know everything about radio. I know a decent amount, but I don't have all the answers, but had a lot of cool questions and things like that, and people seem to enjoy it. So I did it again. I'm listening to 40 meters right now. I'm fixing to hunt some POTA stations, so I don't know where I'll be. I gotta look on here and see. I think there's still several people on 20 that we may be able to get. 20, 10, let's see, 40, 17, there ain't nobody. There's not very many, but we'll hunt some, there's a Kentucky station, there's an Australia station. Ooh, we need to go see if we can hear that guy real quick. No, he's outside. Is he? Yeah, he's outside of my privileges. No? Yeah, he's outside of my privileges, so I can't hear him. we'll see if we can hear this Kentucky. We ought to be able to hear this Kentucky station, no problem. But anyway, I did this on TikTok the other night and earlier today, and everybody seemed to like it. Lots of really good questions. We talked to a station in Dubai while we were live. That was cool. So you never know who we might be able to talk to. So he's on 274. So I was going to play around with this some more, and I figured, hey, maybe you guys would like to see it. I can't see the comments. Why can't I see the comments? I'm trying to do this on my phone. I usually do it on my computer when I'm going live. So, I don't know. Can y'all?
Victor from Mike, 59 and 4526. You're 59 plus, Tennessee.
Let me see if I can hit this guy right here.
Roger, thanks for that 59 from
Find my foot switch.
Good evening, 73. 73, thank you. Station Henry and Bravo and Bravo.
And if I miss your comment, I'm sorry, because once they come up, they're there for like a second or two, then they leave. So if you're really trying to get me, just keep commenting. So when I look over here, I'll see it, because I don't see the comments. They're only up for a little bit. So this guy's in Kentucky. Well, his station's out of Kentucky. I think he said he was in Virginia. Must be in a park in Virginia. George Washington Jefferson National Park.
Thanks for the contact, 73.
November 4, Bravo, Kilo, Charlie.
November 4 station?
Yeah, November 4, Bravo, Kilo, Charlie, Brandon, in Southeast Georgia, Roger.
Roger, Brandon, November 4, Bravo, Kilo, Charlie, got you 59 and the US 4526.
Copy that. I got you 59 as well, and the Golf Alpha, Roger.
Roger, copy that 59 from Golf Alpha. Thanks for the contact, 73.
73.
Kilo Mike 4, Kilo Delta Foxtrot, parks on the air, yours at...
Got him. I don't know why. It's supposed to turn blue when I get a station, but it's not working for some reason. Dang, I wish the comments would stay. I don't know why they're not. Anyway, glad y'all are here hanging out for a little bit. Maybe you'll enjoy this. Let's see if we can hear that Australia station. I'm just curious if I can hear him. I won't be able to talk to him because it's outside my band privileges. But I'm curious if we can hear him. Let me confirm if he's in Australia or not. Yeah, he's in Wright Forest Bushland Reserve in Australia. Again, if you got a question or a comment that you want me to see, what's up, John? Please continue to put it in there, because the comments don't stay up very long, and if I'm not looking, I'll miss it. But I just figured you guys would think this is pretty cool. I shared it again for those who just got on here. I did this on the members only page the other night, and everybody seemed to really enjoy it. And then I did it on TikTok later that night, and I did it on TikTok a little bit earlier today, and everybody seemed to like it. So if y'all like this stuff, when I'm just sitting here doing my thing, trying to unwind outside of work, I don't mind at all having y'all on here live where you can watch me do this. And if you got any questions, it ain't got to be about radio. Ask me, I'll try to answer it. But again, if I don't see it, keep putting it up there, so maybe when I look over there, I'll see it. I guess what I could do, let me try this. Let me go on this computer here and see if I can pull up the live, and maybe I can just see the comments there. That's smart. What's up, Christopher? All right, let's see. Any of y'all following the NCAA tournament? I got that on in the background. Don't know if y'all can hear that or not. Hopefully not, because I don't want to get any copyright strikes, you know. Can't be having them copyright strikes. John will start sending me emails wanting to know what music I'm playing, and I'll be like, man, I'm sorry. It was the tournament. Too many other things going on, huh, Trevor? Yeah, I'm actually headed to North Carolina tomorrow. Me and my son are going to go up and, that's the wrong dang. Me and my son are going to go up, and we are going to go to Raleigh and watch the games on Sunday in Raleigh. So we get to watch Duke play. That's our team. We like Duke. So we're going to be watching them. All right, where's the comments? Go Vols. Uh-oh. So yeah, Duke's the only ACC team that's still in it. So what's your favorite item of all time? What's the best? I think it just went away. What's the best night? I'm trying to get the comments up over here, and it's not freaking cooperating. That's a hard question. There they go. Now I can see them. So I got this little computer here that runs some just piece of crap, old Windows, which I hate Windows computers. Basically it's just to run my radios. So it has like zero power at all, so it's slow as crap on YouTube apparently. So what's your favorite item from BattlBox, and what's the best knife of all time? Bruh. Been over 10 years of BattlBox. The best knife of all time is the one that I designed at the Ruckin River Savannah. I don't know, man. It's been so many of them, right? Like, you know, everybody knows I'm a fixed blade fan. But there's also awesome, you know, folders that's been in it. I really can't answer that question. I really don't know how to answer that question. As far as stuff that I use on a regular basis, so you said maybe give top 10. I mean, as far as like things that I use like almost daily, what was it, Gray Man Tactical? I can't remember the brand, but the hard molly seat back deal that goes on the back of your seat and the back of your headrest. I keep gear on that all the time. I'm always in and out of that stuff. I love that thing. I'm constantly Gray Man Tactical. Yeah, I'm constantly, you know, using that. One of the top 10s I think is the Tops Brothers of Bushcraft Fieldcraft knife. One of my all-time favorites. My neck knife, the current 1776 edition of the MSK 2.0 from Tops. The Skatchet is freaking awesome. Like, get out there and use it. That thing's great. I used that fillet knife kit from was it Dead Fish? Not Dead Fish. It was like blue. It came with a blue folding cutting board. So that's the thing, man. I've done so much, like it's this huge encyclopedia of stuff in my head that I just can't keep up with. So much stuff. What was that company? It's not Dead Fish. Something similar to that. Toadfish. There you go. Thank you, Trevor. That thing's awesome. I mean, even on like the little stuff, like the repair stuff, the no-sew patches. I can't tell you how many jackets and fabrics that I've put no-sew patches on. The medical kits. I'm always having to dig into a daggone my medical kit for something. Anything Civivi and Fox, I love. I use a lot. I actually got a video coming out. I shot a video earlier this week and got to edit it where it really wasn't a torture test of a knife. It was more, can I do this if this is all I have kind of video. I think you guys will probably like it. And it was an interesting end result. I figured it was going to happen and I was okay with it, but I'm kind of not okay with it. So, you know, you're probably going to like that video. We'll put it that way. I hope you like that video. So yeah, man, I'm just trying to think, like, I just can't, it's hard to, so much stuff, man. So much stuff. Grail products, freaking using things all the freaking time. All the time. Love the Grail stuff. Of course, fire starters. We put all kind of good fire starters, stuff like that in there. Yeah, Dan, the orange backpack, really good backpack. My dad passed, I inherited a Schrade PH2 with leather sheath. Nice. Yeah, it's tough stuff. My dad wasn't much of a knife guy. He was a Fox Model B double barrel collector. He liked old shotguns and over and unders and double barrels and stuff like that. My dad, matter of fact, in a week would be a year my dad passed. So still trying to deal with that. But I inherited his collection of Fox Model Bs. He's got all of them except for the 28 gauge. So he's got, they didn't make 10 gauges to my knowledge. So he's got everything 12 gauge to 20 gauge. What's up, Scott? Hey, brother. Yeah, I need to come up there. I was going to try to come up there this week, man, but I've had a rough week. I've been dealing with some stuff, but yeah. Speaking of Scott, you still studying for your ham radio licenses, or did that kind of take a back seat? So Scott here is he's kind of the manager, if you will, of the shop up in Jackson, South Carolina, where Jarrett Rifles has made the best freaking bolt action rifles on the planet, FYI. Real close friend of mine. He's a great guy, and he mentioned a while back he was wanting to study for ham radio, so I hadn't really talked to him since then. Yeah, Jeremy, going to try to, man. We got a lot of plans coming up here soon that's going to incorporate some live stuff that I'll be sharing with you guys. Hopefully y'all join in on that. And I'm trying to, honestly, one reason why I've been going live a lot this week is I'm just trying to get the feel of it. You know, it's kind of different than you know, shooting videos and stuff like that. You know, trying to keep up with comments and the technical side of it, making sure everything works, and if you have an issue, like how to fix it quickly and stuff like that. So that's one reason why I've been doing lives a lot this week, just to kind of get the feel of it, you know. And I need to do more, but you know, sometimes with social media, you know, just like anything else. I mean, you think about it. You think about like us as consumers of social media. Like sometimes you gotta like, it becomes, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's like you gotta unplug sometimes. And typically in the afternoons, that's when I unplug and I do this, play around on the radio. So you know, it's trying to find a good balance of work and unplugging. You know what I mean? Because when you're on social media for a living, just imagine like if you have a social media problem, let's say, where just social media, if that's your job, it's like tenfold. Does that make sense? So, drifting flies, you the reason I got into slingshots. Like, awesome, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Slingshots are great, man. I shot mine the other day for a little while. I got it hanging up, my favorite one hanging up over there on my wall, and it's a lot of fun. I do enjoy it. I'm glad you're liking it, man. Slingshots are now you got to get into radio. So I got one part. So what I'm going to do is, if people are still out there, let me change thing. See, it's weird because this doesn't match this. Let's see. Let's do. See, it says there's 11 people on 20 meters, but there's not. So here's some WW3K. Said he was on 20 meters. So if I go here and I go to 20, and I go up here, I guess I gotta change that to 20. Is he still on there? All right, so let's do this real quick. Then I'll get back to. See, Scott says, been shooting a bunch of pistol, going to do some USPA, so not so much on the radio. Awesome, man. USPA. Yeah, I did that a long time ago, Scott. I think I told you that. But yeah, Scott, shoot me a message, man. Like, shoot me. Let's see. Next week will be, probably won't be next week. Maybe the week after next. I may can get up there, dude, and we'll reconnect, and we got some business to discuss too. I've been a little bit back and forth talking with I know y'all, I guess y'all still working on the website, but shoot me a text, remind me, dude, and I'll see if I can get up there week after next for a day or so, and we can reconnect, maybe shoot some pistol. Are you going to do more truck videos? Love video with cage over the box of the truck. I mean, I can. Old Reba's broke down right now, unfortunately. I've been having to drive my dad's truck a lot. I got my dad's truck now, which I was not planning on hardly ever driving, but I've been having to drive it because I got some sort of electrical issue I'm trying to run down on my Reba truck. All right, so let's see if we can find this guy on the radio. WW3K. He's on 20 meters. Nobody there. Let me tune up and be sure I'm good on my tune. Let's go to 7286, see if we can hear him. This guy is in Texas, which I don't know if it's, and this might be somebody just rags you in there. Let's see. Maybe somebody talking to him. There's another Australia.
Kilo Juliet 7 Hotel India Quebec Whiskey 3 Kilo in the park. Let me hear you now.
Yeah, there he is.
Alright, that cleaned up your audio. Whatever you did, you fixed
That's
it.
Texas right there. Y'all hear him? Y'all hear that guy okay?
Alright, well, it's working now. It's working now. Congratulations. Sorry about that. QRZ Parks on the air from US 2996 Whiskey 3 kilos in the park.
November 4, Bravo, Kilo Charlie.
Kilo Oscar 6, Delta Juliet India 59 Texas, US 2996 Whiskey 3 kilo. Roger, you're also 59.
Can y'all hear that guy okay?
California. Thanks for California, QRZ.
November 4, Bravo, Kilo Charlie. This guy likes to go fast.
Kilo, Quebec 4, Yankee Oscar Victor 59 Texas, US 2996 Whiskey 3 kilo. The call sign is WW3K Whiskey 3 kilo. QRZ POTA WW3K in the park.
November 4, Bravo, Kilo Charlie.
November 4 Bravo Kilo Charlie 59 Texas, US 2996 Whiskey 3 kilo.
Roger, you're 5'9" in the Golf Alpha, Roger.
Thanks for Golf Alpha QRZ.
Got him.
Victor Echo 3.
All right, let's try.
Victor Alpha 59 Texas, US 2996 Whiskey.
See,
There was something going on in there.
see if we can hear this guy. He's in Oklahoma.
Kilo, Quebec 4 kilo.
Oklahoma. Let's see if we can get Oklahoma. All right, Scott. Good deal, brother. Tell everybody there I said hey.
Come again.
How did you get started doing this? Mark asked. I got started in radio because I was. Hold on, let me hit this guy real quick. I'll answer your question. This is the hard part, doing this live, trying to listen and.
Stand by. Kilo Quebec 4, Kilo Bravo Echo, you're 5959 into Park 11768. QSL, stand by for second out.
Oh, it's two of them.
Kilo Quebec 4, Kilo Bravo Echo, beautiful 59 in the US 11768, and this is KJ5 GBQ.
My back hurts.
I heard a YL or a youngster there. YL or youngster, please come what you call.
So I got into this by just thinking about my
Juliet, help me out.
thinking about my skill set, right? So thinking about like what are things that I'm weak in as it comes to self-sufficiency, survival, yada yada yada. And one of those answers to that question was communications. Like how do I communicate if the grid's down and cell phones are down? You know, yada yada yada. Like how do I know what's going on, like from real people, not from a not from like a media source, like real people like us, right? So I got to researching it, and I was like, well, I need to learn about ham radio, because as long as I got a battery, a radio, and a antenna I can throw up in a tree or something like that, I can talk to people. November 4, Bravo, Kilo Charlie.
November 4 station.
November 4, Bravo, Kilo Charlie.
November 4, Bravo, Kilo Charlie. You're a 5959 into Park 11768.
Roger, Roger. I got you 5-9 into Georgia, Golf Alpha, Roger.
QSL, please stand by for second up.
All right, November 4, Bravo, Kilo Charlie, man, big booming 5-9 signal into our park.
Roger that, man. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. I've been having fun hunting. I just got this station set up finally in my shack, so I'm having a good time messing around with it. Over.
Hey, Roger that, man. I wish I was doing the live stream so you could hear your audio, but this was a quick throw together. The 73s, my friend, thanks for your patience and coming to the call.
Copy that, man. Yeah, the funny thing is I'm actually live streaming this right now on YouTube, so if you go to whenever you get home, it should be up by then. Go to the BattlBox YouTube page, BATTLBOX, no E, because we don't know how to spell battle, and check it out.
All right, my friend, I'm probably going to forget, but I'll try to. And if you've got a good email in QRZ, I'll shoot you a card, and when you get it, just send me back an email so I'll check your channel out. Roger?
Roger that. Yeah. Yeah, my email's on QRZ, so just shoot me an email, brother.
All right, my friend. 73s, let's get a few more in there. QRZ.
That was cool. Where was I? Oh, talking about why I got into this. So when all else fails, right? Let's just say something happens. There's no power. There's no modern ways of communication with like people. Okay, I'm sure there'll be a way for media of some sort. Read between the lines here, folks. That will be giving out whatever information you want to hear, right? Or they want you to hear. How do I get around that? How can I gather my own intelligence? How can I talk to people, boots on the ground people? And the answer is radio. I mean, when all else fails, there's ham radio. If you got a battery, so I can take this battery right here. This is a 20 amp hour old battery. They make bigger ones. I can take this radio outside or hook it up right here, throw me an antenna up, and I can talk depending on the band, the time of day, and the weather conditions and the atmospheric conditions. I can talk all over the world with this, that radio, and an antenna. And I can talk to real folks and get hopefully real information. So I started studying up on it, figuring out what I had to do that, right? And I ended up, I forget what it was like $25. There's a website called hamradioprep.com. I don't know what it costs now, but I joined that, and it's a way to study ham radio to get your license. So there's 3 licenses. You got technician, you got general, and then you got extra. And you can take all 3 tests. You can take you got to be a technician to take the general, and you got to be a general to take the extra. But you can take them all at the same time. So if you pass your technician, you can grab another test, sit down, and take your general. If you pass that, you can grab the extra, sit down, and take extra. So I studied that for a few months, did a lot of practice tests, found a place to go get tested, and I went and took my test, and I missed the extra by, I think it was 3 or 4 points. But I walked out of there with my general license ticket. I think I waited 3 or 4 days, and I got my call sign, and now I can get on the radio and talk. You don't need a license to listen. You can have a radio and listen all you want. But if you want to transmit on it, technically you need to be licensed. The thing about licensing is a lot of people, and I get it, okay? In an emergency situation, who gives a crap if you're licensed or not? Right? Why do I need to go get a license if I'm going to use this for an emergency situation? This is why I think you should be licensed. This is why I think everybody that is into survival, prepping, you know, whatever you want to call it, tinfoil hat wearing, I don't care. The reason you need to be licensed is just like anything else. Just because you've got a $5,000 pew pew set up, right, doesn't mean you're good at doing the pew pew, right? You gotta practice, you gotta train, you gotta know it, you gotta know the ins and outs of it, how to tear it down, how to put it together, what happens if it doesn't work, how do you fix it, how do you use it properly, figure out what you're not good at with it and get better at that in the event that you need to do it. Same thing with radio. You need to know how to go outside with a battery and just an antenna and get on the air. Just because you got it and you say, I'm going to use it during an emergency, don't mean you're going to be able to do it. If you're licensed, you can legally practice doing it. And as you practice doing it, you get better, you figure out what your weaknesses are, and you work on those and you get better. And if you study and you take your test and then you practice this stuff, then it's going to work. And if it don't work, you'll know how to fix it. You know how to make it better. You know, you understand how it works, why it works, all those sorts of things. So that's my take on it. So I got licensed in 2020. So I've technically, this June will be 5 years I've had my license. And it's a rabbit hole, just like anything else. I mean, I've got 3 radios right here. I got one in each of my vehicles. I got a handheld radio. There's a metric ton of different avenues you can go down when it comes to ham radio. So the only thing next I need to do, I need to take my extra exam again and take that. Yeah, question just popped up. Can't you go for it? Yeah, you can. Like, I could have turned around the next week and went back and took it. But I really haven't felt the need to do that. I can pretty much, so the only difference between extra and general is a little bit of bandwidth or frequency space. So I don't know how well y'all can see this, but right now I'm on 20 meters. So this right here is the band plan for 20 meters right here. The red here is just for like digital modes. Like you can do this stuff called RIDI. You can do FT8 is one that I do. So those red parts are for data only, not voice. The green parts are voice. So, and then it's got general, A, and E. There used to be sure I got it right. So it used to be you had novice, technician, general, advanced, and then extra. Now it's just technician, general, and extra. So there's still people out there that are just novice. There's still people out there that are advanced. So they still print it on here. But now there's no license for that. They got rid of those other licenses for new amateur radio stations. But back to my point. So right here on the 20 meter band, I am allowed to use, and that's 14 megahertz. I'm allowed to use 14.225 up to 14.350. If I was an extra, I could use 14.150 to 14.350. So really that little space right there is the only part on the band that I'm not licensed to talk on. This little part right here is the only spot on the band that I'm not licensed to talk on. This little portion right here is the only portion of the band that I'm not allowed to talk on. So I can talk on 98% of the freaking band allocations. So I'm not really losing out on anything by not being an extra. I just can't talk on those. I can still listen, but I just can't talk on those little spots of the frequency band. So it's not a priority to me, but I want to take it just so I can say I'm an extra. But I'm probably going to try to do that this year. Does that make sense? Let's see, let me catch up on some comments here. My grandfather had to work at one of the fire spotter towers. When I was very young, we could talk to him using CB radio. Yeah. So my first introduction into radio was when I was a teenager and growing up. I mean, my dad always had a CB radio in the truck. My uncles had CB radios in their truck, and they used that to kind of chit-chat back and forth while on the road, you know, in town and stuff like that. When I became a teenager and I had my own truck, of course I wanted one, right? And when I'm aging myself here. When I became a teenager was about the time that like the bag cell phones were coming out, right? Those big, you know, when people had like the hard mounted cell phones in their vehicle, and then they came out with the one that was in the bag. And the only reason why I definitely remember that is my dad had bought one for the family. So when we were traveling, he would, you know, be able to, because he had one in his car, but it was hard mounted. So he wanted to get the bag phone. So if my mom had to go somewhere, she could put it in her car. If I had to go somewhere, I could put it in my truck, and we could, you know, in an emergency or something like that, we could call each other. So I went bowling one night with a bunch of friends from high school, like midnight bowling. And so it's after midnight or whatever, we're done. And I went out to my truck, and my window was busted out of my truck, and somebody had stole that bag phone. My daddy was pissed. Anyway, because back, man, that was a lot of money, Bo, to have it. Because, I mean, they charged by the minute when you talked on it. It was crazy. But anyway, I had a CB radio in my truck, and at my hunting club where we ran dogs, we used CB radios. So I know a lot, or did know a lot about CB. I mean, we had amplifiers. We went nuts in it with that stuff when I was a teenager. But once I graduated high school, when I started working, and then cell phones got a little bit more, you know, affordable to have, and more people had them and all that. You know, the CB just finally, it actually messed up, and I never went and got it fixed. I burned up something in it. So, from 96, 97 until 2020, I didn't really mess with radios anymore. And I wish I picked this up years ago, because it is terribly fun. I love it. I absolutely love it. Especially now that I got I'm putting up a tower right now. I worked on that this weekend. I got the tower. My sons helped me put the concrete in. 51 bags of concrete, 80-pound bags of concrete. That's why my back hurts. And I got the first section of the tower up. I'm going to go up about 55 feet. But a month or so ago, I went to Hamcation in Orlando. It's like an expo for ham radio. And I bought this antenna that I'm using right now. And I don't know if you heard that guy earlier, but he's like booming signal into wherever the heck it was. I can't remember, Texas or Kentucky or something. Or Oklahoma. I hadn't hit the save button yet. And so it's a 264 foot, it's called a Delta loop. So it's a loop antenna. It's 264 foot long, and it's horizontal above my shop about 35 feet. So it's 88 foot by 88 foot by 88 foot triangle above my shop. And I have talked all over the freaking planet over the last couple weeks. All over the planet. I can show you guys here, I'll show you right now. So this is using FTA to digital mode. But you see all those colors and yellow lines and pink lines and blue lines and crap going all over the place? That's where I've talked, or I've had signals back and forth to all these other stations. So I've hit Japan, South Korea, what they call it, Asiatic Russia, Vietnam, India, Australia, New Zealand, whatever this is, Micronesia, Hawaii, Alaska, obviously Canada, America, South America, Central America, Africa, completely covered Europe all the way into Russia. I mean, that's fun, dude. That crap is fun. Let's see. Jordan what's up, Jordan? Simple Shot. Hope to see you at Georgia Bushcraft, brother. Yeah, man. I may be late getting there. I'm not so I got a shooting competition that weekend. Up in North Carolina, Hickory, North Carolina. So depending on when I can break away from there, so the competition's on Saturday. If I get out of there in time, I can get to Georgia Bushcraft sometime late Saturday. So hopefully I'll be able to make it. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I signed up for that and didn't realize it was the same weekend, and I'm kind of locked in on it. So if I don't make it, or until I do make it, tell everybody there I said hello and I love everybody there, Georgia Bushcraft. What's your suggestion to someone who is new and doesn't know the language? New in ham radio and doesn't know the language? Is that what you're speaking of? Do semi-drivers still use CB radios these days? Yes, they do. Not as prevalent, but I mean, it's an easy, good way for them to communicate while driving. They don't necessarily use it for anything other than that, but yeah, CB's really big right now. So every 10 years there's a cycle. The sun cycle, the atmospheric cycles, the way the sun affects the atmosphere. So about every 10 years is kind of a peak in activity. And 11 meters, which is CB, what's that, high 26 megahertz to 27 something megahertz. I mean, people were talking like crazy on CB right now. Like right now is a really good time for any kind of radio due to the solar activity. So, there's a lot on. So the big difference between CB, like I don't have a problem. Like some hams can't stand CB. I don't care. Radio's radio to me. CB is sometimes kind of the wild, wild west, if you will. You got guys out there that's their thing, that's their hobby. They're pushing God knows how many thousands of watts out through amplifiers. And like the game a lot of time is, in a way, is like who's got the biggest, loudest station. They just want to get on there and talk junk and talk over people and all. And it's fun to them. And if that's what they want to do, that's fine. I used to do it. I might do it down the road. I'm not knocking it. Not at all. Trust me. Ham radio, some people will say, is like the gentleman's radio, right? Like it's people that are into electronics. There's still a lot of old people that did, radio back in the 50s and 60s and stuff like that. your old hams, we call them, sad hams. But it's a little more like friendly in some ways. Now there's places on 40 meters and 80 meters and some on 20, like is very CB-ish, you know. They stay on those frequencies. They act like it's their frequency, and anybody that comes in there, that's not in their clique, you know, they give them a hard time. But the majority of ham radio is not like that at all. They do exactly what they're doing here. They're talking back and forth. They're making connections. You got areas where people get on there and rag chew, which is just have conversations. There's a couple frequencies I get on regularly that we're not worried about signal reports. We're not worried about stuff like that. We just sit here and talk about anything. It's pretty fun. So let's see. South Florida, Doug says yes. Okay, so if you don't understand, that's another reason why I think taking the test and learning it and practicing it is important, because you learn the lingo, right? There's a little bit of a lingo in radio. Now, an emergency situation or something like that, it's probably not going to be there, right? People are just going to talk normal, say what they got to say, and move on. But if you want to get into radio, or if you want to at least listen to it, they do a lot of stuff that's called Q codes, right? And the reason they do it, you'll hear people on here say QSL, 7.3, QTH, QRM, QRP, things like that. The reason that's there is, so back in the day before voice over the air was a thing, Morse code, or what's called CW for constant wave, was how people did it, right? You can do very low power, 10 or less watts, and you know, Morse code, whatever. So instead of me sitting there with a key, typing in the spelling of, hey man, great conversation, wish you well, have a great day, I'm out, they say 7.3. 7.3 means, all right, man, appreciate you, love you, mean it, whatever, have a great day, we're done talking. That's what 7.3 means. QSL is kind of not used 100% properly, and it's to the point where I've actually forgot the proper meaning of QSL. But a lot of people now say QSL meaning, did you copy my transmission? Did you understand what I just told you? So you hear somebody say their call sign, like me, I'd say N4BKC, QSL, like question mark. Did you hear that? That's what QSL means. Or QSL can mean, yes, I heard you, you know. So you hear a guy say QSL and another guy say QSL. That means, yes, I heard what you just said. And yes, did you hear me? So QRP means low power. So instead of sitting there and spelling out low power, they just do 3 letters, QRP. QRP means low power. So that's another reason why I think everybody that's interested in it, just go study and take your test. That way, in the event that you need to use this stuff, you understand the lingo. If somebody says a bunch of Q codes to you and you're sitting here like, what the freaking crap does that mean? You know, you'll be able to know what that means. So CBs are great. They are great. Matter of fact, check this out. So, when I was growing up, there was a guy down the road from where I lived he had a CB shop, or that's what we called it. He sold radios there, he sold antennas, he sold the brackets to put them in your vehicle and blah, 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 right? He was a very popular guy. He was only open like a couple days a week after work. He had a little shack behind his house, and he was open on Saturdays. And every time you drove by his house, man, there was 15 or 20 trucks out in his little driveway with 102-inch steel whips on the back of them. I mean, CB was a big thing when I was a kid. And then when I became a teenager and I started driving, that's where I went and I got my first radio to put in my truck and got my antenna, and got my coax and all that. And he would go in there and kind of soup them up a little bit for you as best he could. He'd hook them up to meters, made sure that they were working good and they had good power, and go out in the yard, put it in your truck. He'd come out, check your SWR, make sure that was good. And, so I was a regular there for 4 years or so. And then I, went on about life. Well, when I got into ham radio 5 years ago, and got to researching it, there's a company called Tar Heel Designs or Tar Heel Antennas, and they make what we call a screwdriver antenna. So it's an antenna that you can have on your vehicle to run HF on, and it's got a little motor in it and a coil, and it lengthens and shortens the radiating element. How can I explain this? So you got this tube, right? And the antenna is attached right here. It's got like a whip that comes out of it. And in this tube, there's wire that's coiled all the way down, and it's covered by this tube. So by running the tube all the way down, there's a little metal clip thing. Running the tube all the way down, it technically lengthens the antenna, right? Because the antenna is attached to the coil. So if I have a piece of metal touching the coil down here, technically the antenna is longer. If I move the pin up to where it's touching the coil here, technically the whole antenna is shorter. You can go out to your vehicle and look at the antenna on your vehicle, and you'll see there's a little wire that's like in the shrink wrap of the antenna. It's because technically that antenna is longer than it physically looks like sitting on your truck because it's going around. Make sense? Hope it does. Anyway, so I saw the Tar Heel antennas, blah, blah, blah. I didn't think nothing of it. They're cool, whatever. Can't afford one, but I'd love to have one. So about 2 weeks ago, a friend of mine sent me a picture of a Tar Heel antenna that was for sale online. And it was an older one, beat up a little bit, discolored or whatever. And it was really cheap. The guy said it worked or whatever. And I was thinking about buying it. But then I was like, no, I don't need to buy that. I got enough crap going on right now. But there was a sticker on there, and it said Tar Heel Antennas or whatever, and a phone number, and it was a 919 phone number, which is the area code where I grew up. And then it had the town that I grew up in on the sticker. And I went, huh. I looked a little bit more. On the other side of it was another sticker, and it had the address. I looked the address up, and it was that dude's house that I used to go and buy CB gear from. And I was like, holy crap. I didn't know he did that. So I called a buddy of mine I grew up with to confirm, and he said, oh yeah, that's him. He started that business in 2000, but I think he sold it. So I got to looking some more, and he sold the business in 2008. Well, I go down to Hamcation last month, and there was a Tar Heel Antennas booth there. This was before I figured this out. So a month ago, I was in Hamcation. A couple weeks ago, I figured out that the guy who started Tar Heel Antennas was the guy that I used to go hang out at his shop, his CB shop. So I walked around the booth or whatever, and I remember seeing this dude there that was walking through that I swore I recognized. Well, now I realize who it was. It was the dude that it was the dude that ran the CB shop. So I sent him an email yesterday introducing myself, and he bought Tar Heel Antennas back recently, so he's running it again, and he's running out of his shop again. So when me and my son go up there tomorrow, I'm going to swing by his shop and hang out with him and reconnect with him. So that's pretty cool. But he's a ham radio operator, obviously, and he was back then, and he had some ham gear there, but we didn't know what ham radio was. He never really talked about it much. We just bought CB stuff from him. So, awesome. Don't know if y'all care about that, but now you know. So, I actually have reconnected with a guy that I used to hang around when I was a teenager, and I'm going to go see him for the first time in almost 30 years. 32 years I haven't seen this dude, and I'm going to go see him tomorrow. What's up, South Carolina Knife Monkey? CB radios back in the early 80s was a good thing. If you were broke down on the side of the road, you would say a certain word, they would stop and help you. Yeah. I mean, my dad actually got some help one time. Like I said, my dad always had a CB radio in his truck, and he broke down one time and actually got some help. I don't recall a specific. I just know you either got on channel 9 for help, or you got on 19, because typically the truckers were on 19, and then the truckers could relay information for you. But I do remember channel 9 was technically like the I need help channel. All right, let's see if we can, if there's any more POTA stations out here. I don't know if there is. It's getting late. Some people do it all through the night. 14240. If I got him, I'm on that. I think that's the guy I just got. I gotta find my my log. Yeah, I already got him.
All right, I'm assuming you got my call, KJ5 GBQ. All right, thanks for coming to the call, 73 QRZ.
All right. So there's only that guy on 20. I already talked to him. Let me check 40 again.
Whiskey Niner Alpha Lima Alpha out of Indiana. Beautiful 5-9.
Oh, getting back to talking like the lingo, right?
All right. 5-9 and coming to the call. Stand by for second off.
Yeah, Mark, he's never going to recognize me. I was a 16 to 20-year-old young man back then. So back to like the codes and stuff. So there's like acronyms or Q codes, and then you'll hear people on here. Like I gave a guy a 5-9. So what that means, 1 to 5 is how well you hear somebody. So if I hear you really well, you're blasting out clear audio, I can understand everything, I'll give you a 5. If you're really, really low, like down in the noise, and I can barely hear you, but I can understand what you're saying, I give you a 1, or anything in between 1 and 5. The 9 is the signal strength. So on most radios, you'll have a needle or you'll have a digital signal that goes back and forth. That goes from the 1 to 9, and then it goes into the red, like 10 dB, 20 dB, 30, 40, whatever. So if I give you a 5-9, that means I hear you really well, completely clear, understanding, and the needle hit 9, I'll give you a 5-9. If you're real low, but the signal's hitting 9, I'll give you like a 2-9 or a 5x5. 5 meaning I hear you really, really well, but you're only hitting 5 on my meter, or you're only hitting 2 on my meter. That's what those numbers mean. I can't confirm or deny Christopher Allman. Always working on something. Okay. All right, so I already got that dude. 14, let me check. Not 14, 20 meters. Let me check 40 meters. There's somebody in Maryland, K3WRG. Did I already get him? K3 WRG 7209. Let's see if we can hit him. It's like here right there, I don't know if y'all heard that. He said 5-5. So whoever he's talking to, I hear you good, but you only hit 5 on my meter. So let's try this guy. He's in Maryland. November 4, Bravo Kilo Charlie, N4 BKC.
Yankee Victor Papa.
Missed him. James Island State Park in Maryland. November 4, Bravo Kilo Charlie. Got him. November 4, Bravo Kilo Charlie. 5-9. Roger, Roger, US 1580. I've got you at 5-9 as well in the Southeast Georgia Golf Alpha, Roger.
Thank you so much for Georgia. Hope you guys have a great weekend.
73. There we go. Got us another. Appreciate you, Raptor Crazy. Your scan's 2529, and I hear no one. 2529. 2529. What the crap is that? 252.9. 252.9. So that's got to be. That's some kind of. Somewhere between That's VHF, I guess. What kind of Mark, what kind of radio is that? What you talking about? .252. That's somewhere between 1.25 meters and 70 meters, or 70 centimeters. I don't know what that is. Or gigahertz. Let's see, 25. I'm looking on my band plan to see if I got anything that's in that. Okay. Yeah, so that's. Yeah, so a Baofeng or a Bufang. So that's yeah, that's UHF, VHF only. And there's certain things you got to set up on some of those types of radios like that. So, and you're only going to really hear anything unless it's some crazy airband. Yeah, okay, airband. Yeah, airband. Yeah, so you can hear. Take care, Christopher. Like if you had a really good antenna hooked to that, or if you were standing outside at the right place at the right time, and a airplane was flying over and they were talking on the radio, you may be able to hear them. So you're going to hear stuff on like 144 megahertz up to 440 megahertz, which is VHF UHF. So you're not going to pick up like HF like I'm on here. Like I can't even pick those up on this radio. Like if I try to type in, just say for instance, I know it's not going to work, but we'll do it anyway. 252.9. Well, maybe I can. I may or may not have took some resistor. I mean, some diodes out of this radio. Here we go. I had something there for a second. Not that. I did hear somebody there light. One thing you can do to test that, you can't transmit on it. It should be locked where you can't hit the PTT button. But whenever you're close to an airport, go to those 25.2 frequencies and just see if you can hear any traffic on that. But the thing with a Baofeng, man, and UHF, VHF that has a little antenna like that, like you're going to be, if you can pick up and if you can talk 4 miles, you're doing good. You need just putting so like my Anytone right here, like I've got this longer antenna. This is a signal stick antenna. Far better than the stock antennas that come on, your handy talkies. Like this picked up my receive dramatically, and I got a little counterpoise on there too to kind of technically, in a way, kind of make this like a dipole antenna. Extends your ability a little bit, or quite a bit better than the little rubber duck we call little antennas that come on those things. All right, let me go. Wonder if anybody's on 10. Might not find any more POTA stations, but we might could just get on here and just goof around on regular old sideband. Let's go to 10 meters and see if we can find somebody to talk to there. I usually get pretty good DX stations. DX meaning you hear somebody talk about DX, that means, across the pond basically, or outside of the continental United States. Yeah, Japan on 10 meters at noon. Yeah, I got a bunch of Japan contacts yesterday. A bunch. I think I did six or seven Japan contacts. I got somewhere else cool I got on 10 meters. What's up, Raphael? I think the guy in Dubai that I talked to was on 10 meters, I think. But I get, oh, that's a net. I I get Europe like crazy right now on 10 meters. See if we can hear where this guy's at. I just got a grill ultraplast. Do I need to rinse the inside before first use, or is it good? I mean, it's best practice, I guess, to clean any type of drinkware before you. I wouldn't worry about the filter, but if you want to clean the, you know, the inner and outer container, I mean, feel free to do so. But I haven't. I'm still alive, so you should be good to go. But if you want to clean it, that's fine as well. Just take the don't get any kind of detergents or cleaner stuff in the filter. Take the filter off. Yeah, it depends on atmospheric conditions, time of day, yada yada yada. But 10 meters over the last couple weeks has been excellent. I can hear somebody here now. I don't hear who he's talking to, but old Ragnar was on the radio about an hour ago. Yeehaw. How much power do you have to have for your home base? That would tell you how far you can go, especially at night. Depends on the atmosphere in the band, man. Like, honestly, I've talked, you know, to Europe. I've talked to South America. I've talked up in Canada, Alaska, all across the U.S. on 10, 15 watts. You don't have to. The key to any radio is the antenna. If you got a really good antenna, you can get out on very low power. If you got a really good antenna, you could have a $10,000 radio and have an antenna that's not very good, and it ain't going to do any better than a guy that's got a $400 radio and a really good antenna. So, antenna's paramount. Antenna and your coax, good low loss coax, antennas that's resonant on the band that you want to operate on is the most important thing. Power, here's the thing. So I typically run, if I'm on single sideband and I'm trying to talk, I'll go down into lower power just for fun sometimes, just to see what it'll do. But I typically run between 90 watts and 95 watts. I rarely run all the way up to 100 watts, which this radio will do, because I'm of the mindset of, you know, like if I had a real fast sports car that could do, you know, 200 miles an hour, I'm not going to run that thing 200 miles an hour all the time, because something could happen, right? Like, I shouldn't push something to its limit all the freaking time. So I would run 140 miles an hour all the time, right? So that's how I think of radio. If my radio can do 100 watts, I'll, you know, play in that 90 watt area and less. But where was I going with that? So antenna's the important part, because if you don't have a good antenna, it don't matter how much power you're putting out. My antenna has about 10 to 12 dB of gain, okay, which you'll learn if you take the testing. So to make numbers easy, if I'm pushing out 100 watts on a resonant frequency of my antenna, right? I'm getting the peak performance out of my antenna at 100 watts. At 10 dB of gain, it's going to sound as if I'm running 1,000 watts out of this radio. Make sense? So if I'm running 1,000 watts out of this radio and I've got 10 dB of gain, it's going to sound like I'm running 10,000 watts out of this radio. That's one reason why antenna is important. If you got a high gain antenna with good, proper, it's the proper length for the band and the frequencies that you're working on, you can run 10 watts, and if it's a 10 dB gain antenna, it'll sound like you're pushing 100 watts. Make sense? So, that's the whole key with that. So, as far as how far you can talk, like I said, I've talked to Japan. I've talked to Europe all the time. I've talked to Russia, Australia, Hawaii. I'm in Southeast Georgia, so and running 90 to 95 watts. Now, one way you can figure out how good your propagation is, which is your conditions, your operating condition in whatever band or whatever, to kind of see where you're going, you can use a digital mode to kind of get a gauge of where your signals are going, because they can kind of go anywhere. My antenna is somewhat omnidirectional. It kind of goes wherever the band will allow it to go. It doesn't always go in the same direction. So for instance, you can do FT8. So what FT8 is a digital mode. It's lower down in the frequency allocation of the bands. And I'm sending digital information. I'm not talking. I'm sending digital information. I'm sending my call sign using the computer through the radio. I'm using my call sign. I'm using my location. And I'm using the signal report to who hears me. And they're doing the same back to me that I hear. And you can go online to pskreporter.info and you put your call sign in, and you can see who's hearing you, or you can see who you're hearing, because it's think of it as a beacon, right? So, for instance, let me go to. See, I was running FT8 last night, so if I set this to 24 hours, I'll be good. So 17 meters. Good. Okay. Hopefully y'all can see this. Let me see if I can turn this around, where I can see better to show you what I'm talking about. Well, you can see on this side of the holder. All right, so I'm right here, Southeast Georgia. This is all the places that received my signal at 30 watts. So looking at this at 30 watts on 17 meters during this particular time that I was doing this, my radio's sending out my call sign and my location. And these people are hearing it. Okay? So they heard me in Australia. They heard me in New Zealand. They heard me in Thailand. They heard me in South Korea. They heard me in Russia, Japan, up here in Alaska, of course, the U.S., Hawaii, South America, Africa, Europe. I tore Europe up. So, and just say, like, give yourself 5 minutes, turn on your radio, go into FT8, pick a band, send out your signals, and then look at this and go, yeah, see, I would be able to talk to Japan on voice maybe. And then you switch over to voice and see if your signal's getting there. It may not, but it might, right? But I mean, I've worked the entire world on 30 watts on 17 meters about this time last night. So I got all kind of Europe stations. I got reports in Ireland and Great Britain, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, down here, whatever this is, what's this? Comoros, Africa, and it kind of shows you the path. Like here, to get to this part of Russia right here, that signal, of course, this is flat. If this was round like the world really is, it kind of went up over Greenland and then hit Russia. So that's a way that you can get an idea of what your station's doing. And then you can go on voice and see if you might get lucky and somebody in those areas pick you up on voice, single sideband. So yeah, Dan, I'm serious. The Delta loop is freaking nuts. I talked to, on 40 meters, I talked to a guy in Los Angeles, California for about 20 minutes the other night, and it was like we were sitting beside each other. Like crystal clear, perfect. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I'll do digital. Typically, like if I'm trying to get certain things, like like I just got the Master of Europe. So I hit, 66 countries in Europe or something like that. I just got that. I've had my all 50 states for a while. So now I'm trying to get Oceania, and I'm trying to get Asia. Africa's going to I can hit Africa, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of operators like in Africa. There's a few on the West Coast and East and South, and I think 3 more countries in South America I got to get. So basically, when I get on the radio, I'll just run digital long enough for me to get an idea like, oh wow, my path is really going to South America on such and such a band, and then I'll jump on voice and try to do it. One time I set my FT8 up and I freaking fell asleep. So it ran for several hours, and I woke up, like I literally this has been a few years ago, fell asleep in the chair, woke up, and I had like 200 and some contacts while I had fell asleep on FT8. It's crazy. Let's see. Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that's a thing. Yeah, Ragnar, it is a rabbit hole, dude. I'm telling you. There's so much stuff you can do. I don't know how anybody can do it all when it comes to radio. There's tons. You can send email through radio, packet information, FT8. There's several digital modes. Heck, this right here does DMR. So I can't find my hotspot. I lost it or threw it away by accident or something. But this radio right here, I can have a little hotspot that's connected to my internet with a little antenna on it, and I can talk to people all over the world with the radio in conjunction to the internet. So, and I can do it in the vehicle. I can plug that thing into the vehicle, hotspot it to my phone for internet, and I can talk all over the world just on this, because it's coming out of this antenna, going into the little antenna of the hotspot, pumping it into the internet, and spitting it out wherever I'm trying to talk to, and somebody else has something similar, and my signal's spitting out of their little hotspot thing, going into their radio and coming out of their speaker. So I mean, it's crazy, y'all. It's freaking crazy. And then, if you know how to do CW, which I'm trying to learn now, you can talk all over the world doing Morse code. I got a buddy that's really into it, and he does like 1 or 2 watts, and he talks all over the world freaking doing the old dit-da thing. It's crazy. Holy cow, it's increased a whole lot from what it was when I was a kid. Had 2 marine batteries back in the day. Then you could talk to people up in Alaska, South America on a clear night. Yep. Yeah, and that's basically what POTA is, right? So Parks on the Air is fun because, you know, if you go to a park and set up a station, technically you're practicing and you're learning how to set up a remote station with just an antenna and a battery and a radio and talk to people. And I got this battery here. Like if I didn't have, like if my power went out, I could hook this radio to that battery and I can still play on the radio and just write down stuff on a piece of paper. I use an end-fed half wave here. Yeah, so that's what I had before I had this antenna. Storm messed it up, broke it. But I ran an end-fed half wave for several years. And that's how I ran into this antenna. I was going to buy an end-fed half wave from this guy, and we got to talking, and he was like, well, how much space do you have? And I was like, well, I got plenty, I guess. He's like, dude, you want a Delta loop. If you got the room to put up a Delta loop, he said, put up a Delta loop. So I bought it and tried it, and I'm glad dude, it blows that end-fed half wave out of the water, dude. It's amazing. Like, the ears on that thing is ridiculous. So if you've got the room for a Delta loop, Dan, get you a Delta loop. It'll blow your mind how much better it is. It'll blow your mind. So mine's an 88-foot triangle. So each leg of the triangle is 88 foot. And the ballon is on one corner. But you can do it in a square. You can do it however you have to do it. But ideally, if you can, put it in a 88 by 88 triangle. Shane says, what is that? What am I doing? Or what's that? This ham radio. I'm geeking out, blabbing on about radio. Let's see if we can hear this guy. Of course, right when I get to him, see if we can make a contact on 10 meters real quick.
Good evening to you. Getting right your way. My name is Steve. Sierra, Tango, Echo, Victor.
That guy sounds like he's Australian. So the brand of that handheld is an Anytone, Anytone, and it's the 858 UV or something like that. It doesn't use Wi-Fi. What you get is a little hotspot that you can Wi-Fi to your internet or your phone, or you can plug in internet into it, and it's got a little antenna on it. And it's basically a little Raspberry Pi computer. And you set the frequency on that, and then in the radio you go to the DMR section and you figure out, you know, what talk group you want to be on. And when you key on the mic and talk into the radio, it goes out of the antenna and it goes into the antenna of the little Raspberry Pi, and then it goes out on the internet. Are you with Aries or Races? I'm technically kind of with Aries. I got I'm in a radio club here at home that's affiliated with Aries, so a lot of my buddies are in Aries. So when there's storms and there's stuff going on, I get involved, but I'm not deep in it to where like I'm a decision maker or anything like that. But I do volunteer if and when need be. Yeah, that dude's in Australia right there. I never heard of Varac or Varac or however you say it. I need to look that up. I'm pretty sure that's Australia or New Zealand. Let me look this up. Varac. Modern HF point-to-point real-time chatting emergency. Okay. Yeah. I've heard of that, but I didn't put two and two together. What do you have to run? Do you have to run a software to do Varac? I mean, I'm sure you do if it's digital, but it's packet like keyboard. Okay. So like, do you run like WSJTX or something like that, or do they have a specific program that you have to use? They got a download right here. Okay, well, I got WSJTX. Let me turn this on. I want to look on here and see if it's a selection on here. I got to turn my rig control on. I hate Microsoft computers. God. I've tried to download, they got it where I can put it on Mac, and I can't get it to freaking work, so I still have to use this piece of junk Microsoft computer. And I just don't want to spend the money for a better Microsoft computer, so I can't stand Microsoft. Okay, so this is FT8. Where do I change? My frequencies, where do I change? File. Mode. I'm not seeing it on the selections. I got FT4, FT8, JT4, JT9, T65, Quara 64, ISAC, MSK, Whisper, Echo, and Frequency Cal. I'll need to look into that and see what I got to do that. Oh, Varac is the software. Okay. I misunderstood. All right, let me turn this crap back off. I jumped the gun on that. My bad. I do that. That's the ADHD, man. Good old ADHD. No, I don't want to turn my rig off. Close. No. Varac is a software. I'm going to download it, man. Might look into that. Let's see. Varac Windows. Nope. Dang it. Got to do it on. No, here it goes. It says Mac. All right, so where's the freaking Mac on that? Click here. Windows. Linux, Mac. Huh. All right, I'm going to download that. I might screw around with that when I get back home Monday. Cool, I'll check that out, dude. That's cool. Okay. Vera is a soft modem. Varac is a software, 2 parts. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. It sounds cool. That's what I need. Another thing to learn. All right. Yeah, I still got some work to do on my station as far as organizing it and figuring out where I want stuff to be, but right now it's good enough where I can at least play with it. Once I get the tower up, I'll get this desk straightened out. I might can get him. He talked to somebody from Oklahoma right there. Let's see if I can get him. Find my foot switch. Can y'all hear that guy?
Montana. The Zulu, Lima 1, Alpha Charlie Echo, Steve in the North Island. I wasn't watching the meeting, but your audio is very good, Donald.
I missed his call. Dang it.
I tend to say it a bit quick. Zulu, Lima 1, A, America, C, Canada, E, Ecuador, Alpha, Charlie, Echo, over.
He's not coming up. VL1 ACE.
Very good, Dan, and yeah, likewise. Good to see you on 10-meter band too. So I've caught up with a few here today. Some good surprises. Some of the guys I know from other bands and
VL1 ACE, but he's not showing up on QRZ. But it's an Australia call sign. DX Entity 150.
Sometimes quite often works if you just say you got a QSY up here to 10 meters and you're quite surprised. Quite surprised when you see who turns up, over.
Yeah, it's still being used number stations. It's crazy, ain't it?
And there's another surprise contact.
It's like that station on 10 megahertz that keeps the UTC time. That's kind of creepy. It's like a metronome. And every minute, like 10 seconds before every minute, it comes on. It says, you know, what the time's fixing to be, and it's like, I don't know. It's very very weird. Too much gear, guy. Just got my license last month. Good stuff. Good deal, man. Congratulations. Welcome to the rabbit hole. I'm gonna try to get this guy in Australia here. If he stops talking with this other guy. Let me go up and tune, make sure my tune's good.
That's great. Just remember there's someone else. There's another surprise station on the side. So let's see who it is. Go ahead, the other surprise stations in L1, Alpha, Charlie Echo.
November 4, Bravo, Kilo, Charlie. N9 BAV, yeehaw. I think I can't. Can y'all hear that guy?
Amazing how the signals drop here. The signals drop up on 10 meters and yet you go to 11 meters and there's still 5-9 signals. I don't understand it, Rick.
So just for those that don't know, so I think he's talking to a guy in Montana right now. I can't hear him because he's shooting right over top of me. But I can hear the Australia guy. Or he's shooting away from me. If he's in Montana, he may be shooting away from me. I'm more than likely going the long path.
Yeah, well, I also have a paper log, Rick, so I can't help you out really. Some of the course lines stand out from them. recognise them. If you get on someone's QRZ page, you say, wow, I remember that. A lot of people remember mine. When they go to my QRZ, they say, oh, we spoke before because I've got quite
I must have his call wrong because I ain't picking him up on QRZ.
I've got an old power differential and people, I think
Victor Lima 1 ACE.
one in the world, over.
I would love to get him on this live feed. That'd be awesome. I can't hear the other station. All I can hear is the Australia station. I hadn't heard him say anything about long path. But I would imagine if he's in Montana, I mean, I could be going short path. But I mean, if Montana's going long path, he's shooting over me. But I don't know, my distance, yeah, so my long path would be, southeast. So about this time yesterday on 17 meters, I was hitting Australia's short path, so I might be hitting him short path, so he might be as well. That's one reason why I can't hear him too, because he's more than likely that dude's probably got a beam or something, and he's beaming straight to Australia from Montana.
Great stuff, Dan. It's good that Rick's come up there too. So, did I hear it right? You and Rick and neighbors? He's not from you there in Montana, Sorry, I couldn't hear Montana.
I gotta get me a swig of tea.
Roger on that.
Cheers, y'all, who's still here. Still 33 people here, so I hadn't bored everybody.
Great. And Rick, you're running the ground plane. Vertical, working great. Nice audio.
Somebody's talking, he just said somebody's talking to who's using a 100-watt vertical. That's crazy. If that's true, surely I can get to this guy. Because I know, in my opinion, this antenna outperforms a vertical all day long. Depending on where he's at, I guess. Maybe not. They're having a conversation, so I don't want to try to break in on them. Let me look here. Any more questions from anybody? Anybody new in here, or all you guys been in here a while? Still got Ragnar, Dan, Allen, Too Much Gear, Raptor, Shane. I don't know if he's still in here or not. Alden, sorry if I missed you. Hey, from Vermont. But yeah, isn't it crazy though? Like I'm listening to a guy in Australia like crystal clear right now. It's amazing. The weird thing is I'm not seeing his call sign right, so I'm wondering if I got it wrong, but I'm pretty sure he said Victor Lima 1 Alpha Charlie Echo, which is an Australian, prefix. Starting to get tired. I guess so. It's almost midnight. I gotta put my sign up somewhere. I think I should figure out a way to rig it up right here for live feeds. My son got me this for Father's Day back in 2020. No, in 2021. I'll put it right here. Stick it in there.
fine. See if I can work anyone else, but they're great to catch up here. We'll catch you on the other one, Dan.
There we go.
I just can't think what's your call sign down the other one.
Come on, I want to talk to this guy. Or try to. It's called ham, H-A-M, like pork, ham. Well, it's technically called amateur radio, but slang for it is ham radio. What's up? What's that, G-Man? You telling me to go to 1051?
You're on the number 3, 6 and a 5. 3, 6 and a 5. See you, mate. All the best. Thanks for coming up.
All right, let me try.
Bye-bye.
Contact. November 4, Bravo, Kilo Charlie, N4 BKC.
Station that said contact.
November 4, Bravo, Kilo Charlie.
November 4, Bravo Kilo Charlie. Good evening to you. Mike, Zulu Lima 1, Alpha Charlie Echo. Operator Steve, Sierra Tango Echo Victor Echo.
Roger, Roger. Can you give me your prefix one more time, please?
Yes, sir. Zulu Lima 1, A America, C
Zulu, not Victor. I got you, Steve. Heck yeah, man. Good deal. I'm in, my name's Brandon, and I'm in Southeast Georgia, United States. And man, you're booming in here beautifully. 5.9 here all day long. I'm just running about 95 watts out of a Delta loop, a 264-foot Delta loop. Roger.
Roger on the Delta loop, and Southeast Georgia there, Brandon. No problems with like it. 5 and 3.
5 and 3.
5 by 3, but and the audio is fantastic. I haven't got good signals on many people. Thank you for the 5 and 9. It's probably your good receiving, your wire receiving antennas bringing me in good. Absolutely Q5 and signal free, Brandon. I'm running around a kilowatt at the moment, over.
Running 1,000 watts. Roger that, Roger that. Well, it's definitely doing the job, sir. Yeah, man, you sound great. I've done a lot of work to try to get my audio good, and it's good to hear that I'm hitting Australia, and I'm pretty excited about it. I'm actually goofing around live on YouTube right now on my YouTube channel. So I've had all the people here on the chat just rooting for me to be able to finally get you. And so yeah, I got a few people on here that's giving me the thumbs up. So I really appreciate you taking my call, sir.
Yeah, very welcome there, Brandon. My name again is Steve, Sierra Tango Echo Victor Echo. Your signal is very good here in New Zealand. I'm not in Australia.
Oh, New Zealand.
A little bit closer.
Technically Australia.
Here in the North Island of New Zealand. Brandon, I'm running a Kenwood Sugar 990, a 6-element Yagi, a homebrew monoband Yagi, and around 1 kilowatt from the amplifier. So that's a story. You're doing an amazing job with just the radio power, over.
Roger that, Roger that. Yeah, those Kenwoods are nice. I know a guy locally that's got one of those. That's a really nice radio. Yeah, I'm running an ICOM 7300 that I bought used from a operator back in 2020. I really like this radio. I've also got a FTDX 3000 that I'm still trying to kind of figure out the menu system. I'm trying to get my audio, my EQ and all that stuff figured out on it, and then hopefully I'll start running it here in the next few weeks. But this 7300's been a good radio for me. I'm glad I was able to get my hands on one that had a good price, Roger.
Likewise. Yeah, I also, here on the shack, I have the 7300 and the 7610. I love my 7300. But that FTDX 3000, you are going to love it when you get it sorted out, because I think they can transmit. I think Brandon, over.
Yeah, roger that, roger that. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I think I've got it closed, and I might, I mean, if you're going to be on for a little while, I might actually try to hook it up and see if I can get you with it. It'll take me a few minutes. I gotta move some things around. I mean, it's, I think I've got it close, but, you know, it's, I don't really have a way to monitor it myself, you know what I mean? So I kind of have to rely on others, and, you know, you kind of get mixed reports on what some people think is good audio versus others, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Some people like more trebly audio for DX, and I kind of like quite the wide audio. I don't know how wide mine is at the moment, but I like a little bit of bass. I like a little bit of bass in the audio.
Can y'all hear that guy good?
You're welcome to try it. I can, if you want to flick over to it, I can give you a quick report. Although the signals are not so strong, it'll be a lot easier, you know, if you're at 5.7 to 5.9, but I can definitely still hear your audio well, Brandon.
Roger, roger. Well, I mean, I can try to do it as quick as I can. I've only got one wire. I don't have any switches or anything. I'm kind of combobulated at the moment, but, I could probably get it up in probably 5 minutes or so. So, I mean, if you're going to be on frequency for a little while, I mean, don't wait on me or nothing like that, but I can do it and see if I can make contact again. But if not, no big deal. I can try some other time.
Okay, Brandon. I can hear other stations here. I'll work another station or two, and I'll just check in between if you're back with the FTDX 3000, and I'd like to hear it. So you do that. I'll say 7.3 for now, in case we don't get you, but you come right back in when you get yourself set up, okay?
Roger that, Steve. I do appreciate it, sir. It's great to hear you and great to make a contact into New Zealand on 95 watts, man. I'm excited. So, yeah, I'll get to work on that here in a little bit, and I'll try to hit you again.
Brandon, we'll see if we manage to pick you up, and I'll take the other station. I'll take the other station that is actually calling right over the top of you as you talk. So all the best, and we'll see you shortly. Input BKC, ZL1ACE, and W7GUN. Wow, you're right over top of Brandon, huh?
Heck freaking yeah, y'all. How about that crap right there? Huh? How about that? All right. I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to try to move some things around. We'll continue to chat. I'm going to switch over. I got to write this frequency down. I'm going to switch over to this other radio and see if he can hear me on that one. 28480, and his call was Zulu Lima 1 Alpha Charlie Echo Steve in New Zealand. Got a 5-3 report. So I didn't move his needle up but to 3, but he could hear me perfectly fine. Yeehaw. So that's a good testament to this antenna that I got. So be sure I change this to 10 meters so it logs properly. Save. All right. I'm stoked too, Ragnar. That was freaking awesome, huh? Come on, Master Trog. Let's go. Dan, yeehaw. All right. So let me turn this off. Let me turn the power supply off so I don't accidentally short something out. I'm going to need to grab my other tuner maybe, because that tuner is not going to hook to this radio. I shouldn't need the tuner, but I may ought to. Wait a minute. It's resonant enough I can use the internal tuner. All right. So trust me, 70s, 80s, and 90s, you did good to go up to Canada and Mexico to contact people on CB. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, CB does good, but it's got its limitations. No too much gear guy. I don't have another channel for this specifically. I'll just share it here because I think it fits. I mean, communication's a good tool for survival and self-reliance, right? So why not? All right, let me unplug this. So I'm gonna take my coax, stick that in here. And what I'm interested in seeing is how, if I can hear him better on this receiver too. This Yaesu FTDX 3000 is supposedly got a really good receiver on it. Let me take my hat off. See if I'm on the right antenna. I believe I am. Antenna 1. All right, so that's plugged in. I need to take the power cord. Luckily, the power cord on the Icom fits the Yaesu, which is a good thing. Plug that in. All right. Get this out of the way because that don't connect to the Yaesu. I'm gonna have to use the hand mic. We're building out all sorts of fun MCOM, slowly adding FT 891s. That's a good radio at rally points with JS8 running on I want to add BBS or WinLink soon. Cool, man. Yeah, I got several friends that run. That's the wrong mic. That's for my 7100. That run FT 891s. All right, so got my hand mic. Turn the power supply on. Turn the Yaesu on. We need to go to 10 meters. We need to go to 28,480. Wow, this VFO is sensitive. I need to tighten it up.
Amazing job, Bob, and thanks for the 5.9. Wire antennas will pull me in good, won't they? Aren't they great receiving antennas? When people are running big delta loop wire antennas...
Can y'all hear that guy?
They always give me good reports, and I don't think it's my transmitted signal.
So he's way deeper.
Antennas are just fantastic for
Oh, hold up. I'm still learning this Yaesu.
Amazing.
All right, my processor's on.
I've got a new log book. I'll put your name, your report, your...
My contour is not.
Where you said you were over? Was it Montana?
So menu.
Yeah, of course you did. How does it go? I know it goes something like Mrs. M, Mrs. I, Mrs. S, SI, Mrs. I can't say the recipe. I can't even spell Mississippi, but I know there's a good poem that helps you out, over. Good, got it. Yeah, beautiful, Bob. Yeah, mate, there's a couple more. I want to see if Brandon is back. He just wanted to try his Yaesu 3000 outdoors. There in Mississippi. Congratulations, 100 watts, long line, amazing ball.
Why can't I get my contour to move?
ZL1 Alpha Charlie Echo. Thank you so much for calling.
73. Thank you. Just let me check, guys. November 4, Bravo, Kilo, Charlie, Brandon, are you back?
Roger, November 4, Bravo, Kilo, Charlie.
All conditions have dropped down, Brandon, and by geez, I'll tell you, that sounds very nice.
I got him.
I can hear the bass content. That's a lot different to your previous radio. I like it, Owen.
Roger. Yeah, so let's see. I've got the processor on, and I should be 4K wide, Roger.
Oh, wow, beautiful. I'm not sure what I'm receiving on, but I think I'm pretty close to 3.5, 4K on the receive side too. So it sounds wonderful. I think it sounds better than your previous radio. I don't know if you want to hear that, but I think it sounds better, over.
Wow, Roger that. Yeah, no, I'm okay with that. I just haven't spent any time with this radio, so I'm still trying to figure out the menus are far different than the MyComs, Roger.
Oh, I know. It takes a while. Even my 7300, when I don't use it for a little while, even with a simple radio like a 7300, I've got to think about it. And this TS990, I tell you that the operating manual is as thick as the Bible, so that's shocking. I often get myself all dog knotted with the 990, and I have to go and look what I've done in the book. But yeah, it sounds wonderful. What microphone are you using, Brandon, over?
It's the stock mic. It's the Yaesu MH31 Mike Hotel 31.
Okay, well, it sounds great. It really does sound nice. And if the conditions were a lot better, I could record you and play you back. I can record with my Kenwood 990. Brandon, all the best. There's a few others on frequency. I'll see if I can say a quick hello to them. They're patiently standing by while I give you a report. But thanks a lot for calling, and thanks for your time. And we'll certainly look forward to seeing you again in the future. Over.
Roger that, sir. Roger that, man. I greatly appreciate it, man. This has been great, and hope to catch you on the bands some other time. You hang out on 10 meters a lot?
No, look, I don't, Brandon. I'm going to tell you something. I go on 11 meters more than I go on 10. I got a lot of buddies.
He says he gets on 11 meters more than he gets on 10. 11 meters is CB.
Talking to them, and what I did today, I announced I was leaving the frequency on 11 meters, and I was coming up here. And it was quite surprising the people that followed me and gave me their hand calls, over.
Roger that, man. Roger that. Yeah, I have nothing against 11 meters, man. I mean, it's radio, right? So, I mean, that's how I got started when I was a teenager, was with 11 meters. So good deal. Well, all right, man. I know there's people in there that want to talk to you. I appreciate you taking your time to talk to me, and this has been a lot of fun, and I hope to catch you again some other time. I'll put you in my log and logbook of the world and on QRZ, Roger.
Yeah, good on you there, Brandon. I don't do all that stuff for the logbooks. I'm absolutely hopeless for the computers. That's why I keep a paper log. But, look, I've got nothing against Oliver. There are some, there's some idiots there. There's no doubt. I don't tolerate anyone mucking around with me. I spin the dial, but I've got some really good friends. Some of them are in their 90s. I've been there for 47 years. 47 years. I've developed some good friends on the 11-meter band. But I got to admit, it's going to the pack. It is going to the pack. But then again, you go and listen on 40-meter band on 7200, and you hear some crazy stuff there too. It's all radio, and it's just all communication. Take care, mate, and we'll see you again. November 4, Bravo, Kilo Charlie, ZL1AC signing with you. Very enjoyable. Thank you, Brandon.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And I do understand the 7200. I think we all like to listen on it every now and then. So, all right. This is November 4, Bravo, Kilo Charlie. Thank you for your time. Zulu Lima 1 Alpha Charlie Echo 7-3.
7-3, Brandon. Thank you. Wow. I can't believe I got a pile up on 10 meters this time of the day. Thank you, gentlemen. I'll try and work a bit quicker. Well, who is the Whiskey Delta?
Oh, man, that made my day right there, y'all. That made my day. That made my day. That was cool. Ask him his YouTube. Oh man, I forgot. Did he say he had a YouTube channel? No. He just said he could record the audio. Like I know my ICOM. This one won't do that. I've never seen an SD card slot on this radio, but the ICOM, you can put an SD card in and you can record your conversation, and then he could have played it back to me so I could hear myself, but he's on a radio that I think he said he was on a radio that didn't have, but that was cool. So if you're not into ham radio, by golly, that should be a reason to kind of want to check it out. That was cool. Just talking to New Zealand on 2 different radios. So that means my antenna is yeehaw, y'all. Heck yeah. Dang, that was cool. Yeah, Dan, I'm glad you're here, man. That was interesting. Nobody would have believed it if y'all didn't see it. How many watts am I putting out on this? Let's see. How do I check that? That's mic gain. So I was at 100 watts on this one. So I was pushing about 5 more watts than that one. Yeah, so amplifiers are cool and all, but if you got a good antenna and the conditions are favorable, then you can talk slap across the freaking, I mean, seriously, like literally the other side of the earth. So where I'm at right now, if I drilled a hole directly through the earth, perfectly straight from where I am right now, I would come out on the west side, in the water somewhere, but on the west side of Australia. So literally on the other side of the world, we just made a contact on 2 different radios on 10 meters. Really cool. So earlier you were putting up, let me scroll up here. You were putting up, who was it? Dan 1051. Was that telling me to go listen to 1051, or were you asking if I was on 1051? Well, not 1051. What would? Yeah, so I don't know what you meant by 1051. Someone said 1036. Oh, okay. CB and YouTube, not even close. That's cool, man. Once this video goes live on the page as an actual video, I'm gonna have to clip that out and just save that little portion right there, because I'd like to look back at that one day. That was cool. Wow. Let's see if we can hear anybody else on 10 meters.
He regularly brings up in the evening. My son-in-law, my daughter,
That was awesome.
here, and we go down into the campus.
Well, it's past midnight. I got a few more minutes in me because I'm all jazzed up, but I got to go to bed soon because I got to get up and drive in the morning, or in a few hours, not in the morning. Let's see, I'm on 480, 10-480, or 28-480. Let me look that guy up on QRZ though real quick. ZL1 ACE. Yep, New Zealand. There he is. Wow, he's got a wild look. Good grief. He's got a pile of old radios and amplifiers on his pictures here. Dude, he's got a freaking old muscle car. A freaking gigantic freaking tower. Can y'all see that? Check out that car right there. There's a lag on here, so I'll let it sit for a minute. Check out that car. It's got a freaking blower on it. There's its station right there. It's got a, let's see, 1, 2, 3 amplifiers that I can see. Two or three amplifiers. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 radios stacked on the top of each other right there to look like old, I don't know what those are, old. They're not 10 techs. What are those? Does he say in here anywhere? Wow, look at the bottom of it. So he can turn. Dude, he made, check this freaking crap out. Yeah, that was a Holden. 1972 Holden Monaro 454. He made his own rotator for his tower out of a rear end of a vehicle. You see that? He took the freaking gearbox rear end of a vehicle, said the mast turns by means of a modified cut down car differential. I used a steering wheel to rotate the mast in the shack. The diff is also hinged and can swing out of the way. Then I lower the tower into the hole. Oh my God. So he's got a hole in the concrete under the tower. The differential drive shaft goes into his shack where he has a steering wheel, so he can turn the steering wheel to rotate the antennas on the tower. And then he can move the diff out of the way and lower the tower down into the hole in the ground so he can get to his antennas without having to climb his tower. That is the most insane contact I have ever made right there. New Zealand dude with freaking differential as a freaking rotator. That's my kind of guy right there, man. That's my kind of guy right there. That is freaking awesome. Holy moly. Wow. Man, he's got even more radios. What's this? So he's got, what's that? 7610. He's got a 7300. He's got a, what's that? AL90A amplifier. Homebrew Yagis. Oh, this is in a trailer. So he's got these in a trailer. And then he can put up a freaking Yagi from his trailer. There's his trailer right there. I don't know if y'all can see that. Might be too close to the... So he's got a trailer that gears in, and he's got a, looks like a push-up pole with a Yagi. It's got 2 Yagis and a rotator on it. Yeah, that's the most ridiculous. And he's got a freaking German Shepherd. That's the most ridiculous contact I've ever made, and we did it live right here on YouTube. That's crazy. Maybe for the next BattlBox, about a Bufang radio, maybe. That's some serious planning. Yeah, that's an amazing setup, dude. Contact just paid for all your gear. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wow. That's amazing. I gotta sign his no, he don't have a web contact. Dang it. ZL1 ACE. Freaking awesome. That's great. I couldn't have asked for a better contact for this live feed than that. That was freaking cool. That's good enough for the old bobblehead of my Star Wars thing my son got me years ago. Dang. All right, so that makes me want to go to, I wonder if these guys are still on. My friend's on 40. Let's see. I hope they're on here because I got to tell them about this. November 4, Bravo, Kilo, Charlie. Y'all boys still out there? His call is Zulu Lima 1 Alpha Charlie Echo, ZL1 Ace. Okay, they're not on there. Let me check my other buddies. November 4, Bravo, Kilo, Charlie. November 4, Bravo, Kilo, Charlie. You Florida boys in there? Everybody went to bed.
It would say no problem. But anyways, I buy stuff.
God. November 4, Bravo, Kilo, Charlie. Mark, you in there? Everybody went to bed. Friggin' wow, man. That was cool. That was cool. Good deal. I'm pumped by that. I got to. Where you at on 40? Right now I'm on 7238. You gonna try to get on there? 7.238. I don't hear anybody on that frequency, so. I guess I need to get another one of these made backwards so it reads the right way on freaking line feed. Now it won't lay right. Here we go. Dang it, man. I'm freaking jazzed right now. I'm glad y'all are here. Y'all got to see that. That was cool. The old FTDX 3000 and the 7300 putting in work tonight. That's awesome. That requires some sweet tea. Some good old Georgia sweet tea. My face hurts from smiling. Heck yeah, Dan. Wow. So now I need to get me a switch and another power cable so I can just switch these radios so I can use both of them. Sitting on 7, you're on 7288. All right, hold up. Was that you, Kilo India 5? Or is that somebody else? Because if so, go down to 7.238. Is this frequency in use? Is this frequency in use? Is this frequency in use? November 4, Bravo, Kilo, Charlie, is this frequency in use? Yeah, and you need your own rear differential for your tower, yeah. Whew. I don't know if I'm up for that, but that is the most ridiculous rotator I've ever seen in my life. Kilo India 5, go ahead. Kilo India 5 station. I heard you.
I'm reading you. There's a word got cut out there. There's Kilo India 5, you get yourself off start again. But it's a little bit noisy, but you're coming in a little bit under the noise. So I've got a 5-5.
5-5, got you 5-5. Shoot me your call one more time, and then I'll watch my meter for your return.
Kilo India 5, Yankee, Hotel, Foxtrot, Barrel Spring, Texas.
Kilo India 5, Yankee Hotel, Foxtrot. Yeah, I got you about a 3343, something like that.
Yeah, I'm just running a beautiful wire here, so it's not the greatest antenna, but it works for you pretty good.
Roger that, man. Cool deal, cool deal. So that's FAFO group that's in the chat. That was him right there. Very cool, man. Cool. That's awesome. The day just gets better and better. All good, Raptor Crazy. That was awesome. What's up, KI5YHF?
India Tango.
India Tango, go in.
QSL, roger that. It's Kilo Zulu 4, India Tango.
Kilo Zulu 4, India Tango, QSL.
QSL, you're a 5'9" up here in Tennessee. We're sitting here watching you on the YouTube. You're sounding good up here in Tennessee.
Roger that, James. Yeehaw. That's awesome, man. Tennessee, yeah. Very cool, man. That's very cool.
Yeah, roger that. You got some good audio. That 3000 sounded good for you.
Good deal, man. Good deal. Yeah, this is probably the most I've used it, honestly. It's technically the club's radio. It was gifted to us by a member, and the settings and all was all jacked up on it and everything. And I've been going through the manual and watching videos trying to figure out how to fix it. And I'm glad it's sounding good. Over.
Yeah, roger that. Yeah, you got it sounding good. Yeah, I'm coming to you again on a Yaesu FT991A. I'm just running 100 watts on a wire like you, so I know how it is to get out there. But yeah, man, you're sounding real good tonight.
Roger that. Yeah, you're flirting with 10 over on me here. Right at 10 over.
Okay, yeah, roger that. I'm running a 80 meter off center fed. I think they call it like a Wyndham or something like that. But yeah, man, we're making the trip.
Good deal, man. Good deal. Just so you know, this frequency right here is when we have a net twice a week. I say we. It's a net that I get on. It's called the N5 net, November 5 net. It is an awful lot of fun, man. So it's Wednesday nights, 8:30 Eastern time, and Sunday nights 8:30 Eastern time. If you ever get a chance, man, it's a ton of fun. We got people in Georgia and Alabama and Florida and Louisiana that are kind of the regulars that run the net sometimes, but we get a lot of really cool contacts and talk all over the U.S. on that on Wednesday and Sunday nights.
Okay, yeah, roger that. I'll check that out. I like getting on some of the HF nets and just seeing how the equipment will work, Roger.
Yeah, roger that, roger that. So what's your name on the chat right here, just so I can tell everybody?
Mine's the FAFO group.
Oh, okay. Roger that. I thought you were the KI5YHF. All right, well, I got it backwards. So this is the AFA. Okay. Yeah. All right, cool.
All right, Roger, did you get it figured out? Yeah, I just go by that on YouTube.
Roger that. Yeah, so the I need to search, see who this other guy was. I need to put him in my log anyway. Yeah, I thought that was you. So no. Now that's the FO guy right there that's in the chat. There we go.
Contact.
Knight KRY is. Go ahead.
Good evening, gentlemen. This is Kilo Alpha Niner, Echo X-Ray Zulu, Northeast Ohio. I hear y'all talking about rigs. Over.
Yeah, roger that. Kilo Alpha 9 Echo X-Ray Zulu, is that right?
I ain't kept the holler at him. We were talking about radios. You sounded pretty good yourself there from Ohio.
Okay. There's a bunch of folks talking over each other there. Both of you guys are at least 9 over, 5'9", sometimes reaching plus 10 over.
Roger that. Go ahead and talk with them, AFO. I'm trying to get my log straightened out.
Roger.
Go ahead with them. I'm trying to get my log straightened out. Go ahead and talk to Ohio.
All right, yeah, roger that. I got you. Go ahead with your logbook there. Yeah, you're sounding good in Ohio. What are you running there?
I am running an old Drake TR7 and coaxing out 100 watts out of it into a 71-foot random wire about 45 feet up in a tree. Going to due east, over.
Yeah, roger that. Yeah, you're sounding good. I'm getting you about 5'7" here into Tennessee.
Yeah, you're easily 5'9", maybe 5 over. What's your call?
The call here is Kilo Zulu 4, India Tango.
Okay. And I heard you say something about the N5 net.
Yeah, that's the other guy here. I don't know too much about the N5 net. He was just telling me about it.
Roger. If you hang tight, I'll get back with you. I got so many call signs I'm trying to juggle right now. I'll be right back in a minute.
Roger. That's fine.
Yeah, from what he told me, it was on Wednesdays and Sundays, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, I think, on Wednesday and Sunday.
Roger. Yeah, I thought that's what he said. And it was just kind of a gear checkout net, over.
N4 BKC. Yeah, so it's an informal net, kind of a cross between a rag chew and we talk about our stations, our antenna setups. A lot of DIY guys get on there, and we I mean, sometimes, man, it goes nice and late. So the last couple times I've been on, it's gone to about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern. But we get a lot of contacts, kind of while the band shifts. So it kind of starts off East Coast, and then it starts to move out into California. And I mean, a lot of really interesting people come in on there, and it's a lot of fun. But it's pretty informal. Like they don't use net logger or anything like that, but the control operators do a good job of keeping everything moving smoothly. And you're welcome to come check it out. Both of you welcome to come check it out anytime, and we'd be glad to have you. N4 BKC.
N4 BKC, Kilo Alpha Niner, Echo X-Ray Zulu. Where are you located? What's my signal like down there?
I'm located in Portal, Georgia, about an hour north of Savannah, Georgia. And your signal, you're solid 5.9. Every now and then you're flirting about 5 over, but solid 5.9 in here, sounding really good. Over.
Okay, you have a really good solid signal here, 5.9, and you occasionally flirt with 5 over as well. What's your name?
My name's Brandon. And currently I'm running, I got 2 radios here. I just switched over to this one, I don't know, 20 minutes ago. Right now I'm running a Yaesu FTDX 3000, 100 watts into a 280-foot Delta loop.
Oh my, a Delta loop. Yeah, I've heard a lot about them. But yeah, all I could manage was getting a long wire up in a tree that a friend climbed the tree for me. So yeah, I stay out of trees because that usually leads to the emergency room, over.
Oh yeah, you want to stay as far away from an emergency room as possible. Yeah, climbing trees. I used to do a lot of bow hunting and hunting out of tree stands that I'm lucky I never had an accident with, because I climbed trees way up there and in the dark with no flashlight. So I no longer do that too much. I mostly hunt out of box stands now, and if I need something in a tree, I got a slingshot and a sandbag with some paracord hooked to it.
Oh my, well, that's good to hear you're not messing around in the tree stands too much anymore. my younger brother, he does a lot of deer hunting and bear hunting from tree stands up in Wisconsin, and every time he tells me, yeah, 25, 30 feet up in a deer stand, got my bow always at the ready, and I just kind of shiver and go, better you than me, over.
Yeah, roger that. I don't have the nerves I had when I was younger. Yeah, I climbed up in some real sketchy stuff before in the dark and getting down in the dark. So thank God I never had an incident for sure.
Yeah, I don't have enough upper body strength anymore to climb up in a tree. Definitely not in the dark. Too many things in the dark that go bump in the night, and yeah, I like the taste of venison, but not at the risk of breaking my neck, over.
Yeah, roger that. Yeah, I like to feel the freezer, but I don't do it. I don't do it climbing up in trees in the dark no more.
No, my deer hunting days are pretty much over and have been for a while. The only kind of luck I had hunting deer was bad luck.
Roger that. Well, it is a game of chance oftentimes.
And the chances were never in my favor. My uncle.
I got you KI5
National Forest in Wisconsin.
YHF in case we didn't know.
And Wisconsin deer season runs right around before Thanksgiving.
I'm
and
putting
I
you in the
made
log
mistake
now.
of wearing my work boots, steel-toed, out in 1.5 foot of snow. And about lunchtime, I went back to the car to get some coffee and sandwiches. And
Daryl,
about the time I got the
Texas.
thermos open and the sandwich bag open, I hear a couple of shots. So I'm just going to
put 5 9s because I don't remember the signal report.
Back to where the shots were. Yeah, here was deer tracks and deer blood right in my boot prints where I was standing against the tree. Over.
Oh boy, that's a story to tell right there.
Yeah, I could have tackled the thing or hit it with the other end of my gun. Over.
Roger that. Yeah, I have something similar happened to me when I was I think I was 14. We were in a club that we back in North Carolina back in the let's see, how old would I have been? Late 80s, I think it was. My dad set me out. I walked in the woods, dogs were running a deer, and I was leaned up against a tree, and I thought I heard something, and I turned around, and a doe about ran me over, running through the woods, and I took a shot at her, and I got her, but it was a hairy situation.
Yeah, I can understand that. And then another time, my brother and I were hunting the edge of a cornfield. He was down on the corner, on the edge of the woods in the cornfield, and I was up on the other end. We both sat there all day till about 2 hours before closing time, and he came up by me, and I'm up on a tree stump. He said, let's go over through that canary grass there and see if we can scare something up. So we did. Didn't scare anything up. Then he said, let's change spots. I'm tired of the same old scenery. So we did. I no sooner get back to his spot, and I hear boom, boom, boom. And I jump back out into the lane, and sure enough, he's standing with his foot on the
Take it easy,
point buck, and I went, dang.
Night Crew Paul. Roger that. Oh man.
So, that's basically the extent of my deer hunt. No luck at all.
Well, being in the woods with no luck at all is better than being at work. That's what I always told myself. I mean, if I were able, or if I had the wherewithal to keep a journal of all the hours I spent deer hunting in comparison to all the times that I was successful, it'd be skewed a lot, but far better than work. I have I've got some good ones on the wall, and I've been feeding the family for years, so I can't complain.
Well, that's good, man. That's good for you. I guess when it came to hunting, I preferred pheasant hunting or quail hunting. At one time, I had a really good Brittany Spaniel that was a really good pointer. But my forte always seemed to be fishing because I had patience, and luck was on my side there. Over.
Yeah, roger that. Yeah, that's one thing I'd like to do before I get to a point that I'm unable to, is do a little bit more. You know, I've done some quail hunting and all. I've never been pheasant hunting. I'd like to go do that. I got some buddies that go up to South Dakota. I think it's South Dakota, not North Dakota. I'm pretty sure it's South Dakota to go pheasant hunting. And I've just never had the financial ability to join them. They go up to a pretty expensive place. But one day I hope to do that and take some of my late father's old shotguns and go up there and do that and do some bird stuff. I had my dad had spaniels when I was growing up, Springer spaniels, and he did a little bit of quail hunting when I was real little. And then kind of got out of that, you know, as I got older. It started costing him more money where he had to work more and hunt less. But we got into some duck hunting as I got older, so I at least have some good memories of duck hunting with him. But I inherited his shotgun collection. He's got a pretty nice shotgun collection, and I think it'd make him smile if I was able to take a trip and go shoot some pheasants with one of them old shotguns.
That's really wonderful. I'm really glad you had some great hunting memories with your dad, as do I. I grew up in Wisconsin, north of Milwaukee. We got a lot of good hunting times, rabbit hunting, squirrel hunting. Well, when it came to pheasant hunting, that happened when I was in the Navy out in Washington. But we just didn't have a pheasant or upland game bird population in Wisconsin much. Duck hunting, we're just off the Mississippi Flyway. Well, there was all kinds of ducks coming down, but we just didn't do much of it, and it's kind of silly because we lived right on the Milwaukee River, but it just wasn't a strong.
Can y'all hear that guy okay? Over. Yeah, roger that. Yeah, the Mississippi Flyway, that's where to be when you're duck hunting. We mostly, you know, so I grew up in kind of somewhat about middle eastern part of North Carolina. So, I mean, we had some wood duck holes and stuff like that, and we get occasional mallards coming in, but mostly we had to deal with bluebills and ringnecks and coots and, you know, trash ducks. And then every now and then we go to the coast and we'd get into some pintails and some what were those old squalls and stuff like that, kind of out in the water, you know, the far eastern ocean ducks, what we used to call them. And then, but the one thing that was cool, would always be a good memory for me, is in eastern North Carolina, you could apply for a swan permit, and we'd go out and about every 2 or 3 years we'd go out and get on some honker swan hunts, which was a lot of fun.
Well, that sounds good. So you didn't get into the canvasbacks or the golden eyes or the buffleheads?
Buffleheads, yes, and I was on a couple trips where a few of the guys with me got canvasbacks, and one guy I can remember got an old squaw, and I never was lucky enough to get one of those. But plenty of pintails, buffleheads, bluebills, teal. Get in there in the early season when the teal, you know, they usually come in earlier than the other ducks. We'd get into some teal and all that. But I was never fortunate enough to get an old squaw. a buddy of mine, actually, we were on the East Coast and got into a swamp to try to kill wood ducks, and he killed one of those, I forget what it's called. It's the Asian version of a wood duck. The most beautiful duck I've ever seen in my life, and I can't remember the name of it. Was it a mandarin? Does that sound right?
I don't know, but wood ducks sure are pretty. But you talked about teal. I got a story about that. My brother and dad and I were sitting down in the duck blind. We had the decoys down opening day, and we were just sitting there, just waiting for the season to start that morning. And we already had about a dozen teal already landed our decoys. And
yeah, Dan, this guy sounds cool. He's just looking for somebody to talk to.
Some guy walks on the road in back of us and yells, "Hey, look at all them teal!" And all of a sudden they just take off. And my dad turns around because he was just going to really bless them out. And all of a sudden it's his brother-in-law.
Yeah, I think people hunting teal have the best stories, because that's an impressive duck. We used to call them fighter jets. We'd be in the blind before shooting light, waiting for the light to come up and the correct time so the game warden wouldn't get a hold of us, and it sounded like fighter jets buzzing by the blind, and we were just hoping, praying to God that once the sun got up and the time got right, they were still flying. But that's a fun duck. So yeah, the mandarin is the duck I'm talking about. I just looked it up, so if you want to write this down, so when you get a chance, you can look it up. It is when he shot this duck, none of us knew what it was. I mean, we've never seen it before, but it's called a mandarin. A is Mike Alpha November Delta Alpha Romeo India November. The most beautiful duck I've ever seen in my life. And it was flying with a bunch of wood ducks.
All right, I'll check that out. But I just pretty much all
Take care, Dan. Glad you're here.
Behind me, but I still looking forward to crappie season here soon. Over.
Oh man, I love some crappies. We call them crappie down here in South Georgia. Yeah, me and my dad did that a lot too. My uncle, he owned a big piece of property that had a massive pond on it. Some people call it a lake, but I don't consider it a lake, but it was huge. And every Christmas, all of us, every one of us in the family, every Christmas, after Christmas, we'd all go out there with my dad and my uncles and my granddaddy, and we'd go out there on boats, and we'd dump them Christmas trees out in the water with cinder blocks tied to them. And then that next later in the year, when the crappie got to biting good, we'd all go out there and we would fill so many buckets full of crappie, and then we'd clean them up and freeze them, and we'd eat them all year round. That's one of the best eating freshwater fish there is out there.
Roger that. There is no arguing about crappie being good eating. We would end up catching a lot of northern pike, and I never thought that they were worth eating. They almost always tasted like mud, and them Y bones always found a way to evade the fillet knife. Over.
Roger that. Well, man, I hate to cut it short, but it's getting late, and I got to get up and travel in a few hours. I've been having a whole lot of fun here on the radio, and I actually, just before I got on this frequency, I was on 10 meters and talked to a guy in New Zealand. And so that made my night. But talking with you is icing on the cake. It's been a good time. I honestly, if you get a chance on Wednesday or Sunday nights around 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, come on in here and hang out with us on the N5 net. I'm sure you'll enjoy the conversations we have. Great group of guys. But I'm gonna have to turn it off for tonight because my eyelids are getting heavy, and it's been a long day. So this is November 4, Bravo Kilo Charlie Kilo Alpha 9 Echo X-Ray Zulu. I believe I got you written down correctly. It's been great talking with you, man, and your radio sounds really good. And I'm going to have to hang it up for tonight. So I'm going to say 7-3, and I'll wait around for your final. Over.
Roger that. Well, thank you, Brandon, for a great QSO, and you've been 5 over for most of the conversation. And I'll check on checking into the N5 net, and thanks for helping me take a little bit of a trip down memory lane. And yeah, I was on 10 meters earlier this morning and got 5-4 in contact. But I'd be surprised if 10 meters still hopping this time of night. No.
Yeah, I was just scrolling around in there, fooling around, and heard him, and I was able to get into his pile up, and we had a good little talk. He even gave me time to switch to this radio because I was curious how this radio would get out to him, and it was really cool. It was really cool talk. I mean, he was running power. I'm only running 95 to 100 watts. He's got beams. A matter of fact, you need to look him up and check out his QRZ page. That guy has got the most interesting setup I've ever seen in my life. If you scroll down to the middle to the bottom of his page and look at how he has homebrewed his rotator setup for his antenna tower, I'm sure you'll be as amazed as I am. So his call was Zulu Lima 1 Alpha Charlie Echo ZL1 Ace. Excuse me. And excuse me. You'll have a really good time checking out that page. My voice is gone.
All right, no problem, Brandon. I don't want to keep you talking any more than you need to. I will check out that page, and hope to have QSO with you again. You have a good night. November 4, Bravo, Kilo Charlie. This is Kilo Alpha 9er Echo, X-Ray Zulu, 73.
73, my friend. Take care. November 4, Bravo, Kilo Charlie, and I'll be clear to frequency.
Good night, Brandon. Catch you Sunday night, K4BBX.
Roger. Appreciate you, man. I'll see you Sunday. Well, no, I won't be on here Sunday. I'll be away from the QTH, so I'll catch you on Wednesday, Roger.
Roger.
7-3, Brandon. It was good talking to you, buddy. This is Kilo Zulu 4 India Tango. I'll be clear too.
All right, my friend. Thank you. Woo! What a night. What a freaking night. That was awesome. We might need to, I might need to start doing this more often. Maybe you guys are bringing me good luck. Turn that radio off. Turn that power supply off. Wow. That's ham radio, folks. That right there. Don't get me wrong. I like hunting POTA stations. I like doing all the, just signal reports and move on to somebody else. But when you can get on the radio and just sit there and just chit chat with somebody, chew the fat, rag chew, that's cool. That is really cool. So let me look up let's look up this guy real quick, and then we're gonna have to call it a night. Your boy's getting tired. Let's see, KANEXZ. Let's check him out. I think that's right. Let me double check. KA9EXZ. Yeah, so that was Lee in Ohio. He got his novice license. He got his novice license in 1977, the year I was born. So that guy's been in ham radio for 47 years, and that's how old I am, 47. And then he got his general license in 1992. So novice. So wow. So he went 14 years just as a novice, which, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, so for 14-ish, 13, 14 years, all he could do was CW. Yep, if I'm reading this correctly. So that man, I would bet he could probably hammer it down on Morse code. Because back then, novice was the first level, and you had to know code, and I can't remember how many words per minute you had to be able to do, but I bet you that man could probably throw down on Morse code, which is pretty cool. I really admire people that can do that. I'm having some trouble studying that because I'm a visual learner, and CW is very audible, right? Like, the key, from what I understand through what studying I've done, the key to really learning Morse code is to learn by ear, not learn by seeing and ear. Does that make sense? And I have trouble doing that because I'm a visual hands-on learner. So I really admire the people that can throw down on CW. And sometimes I'll even go down into the lower part of the bands and listen to people that can really rattle that crap out. And I don't know how in the world they do it. But maybe one day I'll at least get it good enough where I can get in there and make a few contacts on CW. But right now, I'm perfectly fine doing it like this right here on voice on a single side band HF. It's freaking awesome. So I got to go, y'all. I need to go to bed and get up in the morning, and me and my son are going to go watch some NCAA basketball tournament stuff on Sunday. So we're going to travel up and spend the night at my mom's house. And my other son's going to hold down the fort here. So glad y'all hung out with me. I don't know how many people have come in and left over the last, how long have I been running this thing? 3 hours, 3-ish hours. But I'm going to try to filter through and clip out the good stuff and maybe just make a small little video just so that for myself, I'll have it on YouTube where I can always come back and look at the New Zealand contact. And for sure, that was great. The New Zealand contact was fun, and seems like a really good guy. So messing around with the original social media platform, ham radio. I dig it. Hope you guys do too. Hopefully it inspired some of y'all to check it out or look into it if you're not already an operator. There's many people that have been in and out of here and currently in here now that are operators. And so yeah, I mean, I'd like to do this again, and maybe we can do like we did with FAFO and D Paul that was on here, KI5Y HF. If you have the opportunity, we can get on a band and see if we can talk to each other while we're live. I think that would be pretty cool. So appreciate the 30 of y'all that are still here. I love you. I mean it. I'm going to hit the end button and I'm going to go to bed. Yeehaw. We'll see y'all soon, and we'll have some new vidges up for y'all to watch next week. Love you, mean it. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.